Okay, so this has more pigment, this kind of paint, and some is different brands, acrylic, like Liquitex, Amsterdam, and we have many more brands. It's fine to use different kind of brand of acrylic, and you can find which one is more interesting for you and feel more happy with those. For this specific model, we need the white color. As we see in the model, we have a white, purpley tone, orangey tone, and the black for the trees. And then we can make more shade of the colors with those. So for white, we have general white and black because all the colors can make light with the white and can make dark with the black. And we need orange color or yellow as well. If you don't have orange, don't worry. Yellow and red give us the orange when they mix together because these are primary colors. And even the purple. If you don't have purple, doesn't matter. If you have cobalt blue and red, you can mix those together and reach the purple that you needed. The other things that we need, because this has a nice purple tone, I'm going to use this brilliant purple, which is light purple. Even this one is different. Like, what is this? This is a violet, Umar violet, but you can see not much big difference. And even if you have any kind of blue and red, you can mix them together, make it lighter with white and reach those value because some purple is more reddish, some purple is more bluey. So it depends how much paint you add mix together, and then you can reach the amount that you're interested for. And we need light blue color. I have this turquoise blue, then I can mix it with white to make lighter than this value as well. And I would go with like let me see, cobalt blue. Cobalt is a nice blue color if you have it. And it's nice blue or even ultramarine blue. Ultramarine or cobalt is a nice blue to use it if you have. And then black and even some pinky shade if you have it would be great. If you don't have it, red and white mix together and give you like a pinky tone. These about the materials. These are about actually the paint. So let me just put them aside. And I would work on my palette paper because it's easier to work with this palette paper. For acrylic has glue inside, it's hard to use like a plastic or even wood palette because it's hard to clean it after. I would try to use on a paper palette, which is just one time use it and put in a garbage, or a plastic plate from dollar store. That's easier. Just one time you can use and put in a garbage. And then we need the brushes. If you have palette knife, it's a good thing for mixing the paint together. And for brushes, depend on the size of the painting you're working on. You can change the actually size of your brushes. Larger size always good for whole the painting, for the whole background, and smaller size is always good for the details. It's good to go with a flat brush, like this kind of brush, which is so flat, round and pointy brush for the details if you need, and then filbert brush, which is curvy on top. I really love curvy brush sometimes because I can easily make the texture of like a cloud, like what we call the details sometimes more. It depends. If you like more flat brush, so feel free to use flat brush. These are about the brushes. And then we need to work on a surface like canvas or wood or any other surface you feel happy with. This is a masonite wood that I have. For acrylic, we don't need even add the gesso on top. It's okay, you right away work on this surface. But if you work with oil, we need the gesso to add and prepare the painting, the surface actually ready for our painting. Because acrylic has glue, stick to the surface, nothing happen for that. So this is masonite wood. It's 8 by 10 inches. Any size you have, even any shape, like oval shape or square shape, any kind of canvas or wood you have, it's okay to start painting and work on it. You can just uh, pretend the size and then imagine how you would like to place your item of the landscape in your canvas. So we need glass of water to clean our brushes and then rag or napkin for cleaning our brushes. If you have everything around, so we can start putting our paint on a palette paper and then start painting together. For set up the palette, I would actually go with the lighter tone, which is the white, yellow, orange, warm colors, and then move on to the darker tone. So I start with the white, and then I would add yellow, yellow color. We need more white than yellow. Yellow is a little bit for the sky. And if you have orange, is a good choice to add orange as well. If you don't have it, don't worry. Red can work same as orange because you can mix it with yellow. And then in some case, I can use a pinky color. This quinacridone magenta or any other pinky tone you have, it's a good option to use it. Or if you don't have it, don't worry. Red and white give you pink. So if you have red, you can mix with white and reach the pinky tone. So I go with that. Even I have to use this mix with white to reach lighter tone. And even the purple. As I mentioned, if you don't have any purple, you can add red, you can add ultramarine blue or cobalt blue, mix both together. So this is the purple, but I would show you how you can mix with blue and red. So because of that, I add the blue and I would add the red to show you how you can mix them together and reach the reddish color. So let me add the red. I should add red earlier than this. Blue, but it's fine. And then I would go with the light blue color and the black. So that's it. These are our paint. I give you time to set up your palette. And then we can start painting. So please add white, yellow, red, or orange, blue, any blue you have. So you can make it lighter with mixing with the white, and you can make the purple with it, with mixing with red. And then we need black. I love to use a lots of different value of the colors or different tone. Because of that, I use two blue, I use two kind of red and the purple. So if you don't have all these, it's fine. So for mixing the paint, if you're okay with that, I would start to mix the color of the sky. And all this beautiful shade of the color is for sky because on distance it disappeared. They melt into landscape. So I'm gonna start with the peaky bluey tone and then the warm tone because it's a sunset. So I'm going to start with mixing the pinky tone first. So I need the white color and a little bit red or pink color that you have, very teeny tiny because can change the value very fast. So I prefer to add little by little to see what happens. So this is a little bit light still. I would go with darker tone. So I would add more red in it or pink to make it a little darker, warmer. So I think it's fine now. Maybe more. You can just little by little add and feel happy with it or not. I feel happy with it now. It's fine for this. So the other color that I would go through is the orangey tone. So even I can go with the same palette knife. I don't need to clean it because this pinky tone is fine to mix with the orange. If you have orange, you can add a little more, depend on the orange that you have. My orange is really warm and dark, so I mix a little yellow with it and try to make it just a bit lighter with adding the yellow. And make it lighter for the sky. And we use pure yellow. We don't need to mix anything with that. So this is the orange. And depending on the size of your canvas, you can add more to have more amount of paint because mine is 8 by 10, so it's not much big. I don't need to make a pile of paint with that. A little bit is fine, but depend on the size that you're working with. And then the next color that we need is purple. So I would go, I have a purple, but I would show you how you can mix the blue and red and reach the purple. I have this red, bring it here. I have the blue, a little bit less I would mix with the blue and reach very dark color like that, which is dark purple. And I need light purple. So I would go with white, mix with those mixture, and then reach the nice light purple. And you can see if you add more red, your purple is more burgundy tone. If you add more blue, it's more bluey purple. So this is about if you don't have any purple, you can mix them together. But if you have it, you can use already your blue, your purple directly. Just like this, I would go with this purple, bring it here. So it's ready to mix with my other kind of paint. So we have already everything, just we need the light blue color for the sky. My blue is dark, even both of them is dark. I need to mix them with more amount of white. So a little bit blue with a lots of white, give me light blue color for my sky. As we know, all the colors can be light with white, and all the colors can be dark with black. Okay. So we have ready colors here. Then we can start apply on our canvas. I would make a little darker purple too. So I have already the purple, so I would go with blue. If you like to make the purple dark, you can mix with blue. A little blue mixed with purple to have darker purple. Like that. So again, I can repeat for you. For mixing the pink, red with white, give you pink. The orange, red, and yellow give you orange. More yellow, make it lighter. Or even a little bit white, you can make it lighter. For purple, red and blue mixing with white give you purple. And if you have very light blue color, you can keep that. If not, you can mix with lots of white to make very light blue for the sky. First of all, we are separating the sky from the landscape, and I would go with more space for the landscape and then less space for the sky. And because most of them they melt into each other, I would go with the light purple to separate from each other. So I go like this, just with a line. I would go and add this purpley tone, light purple, to separate sky from the landscape, like that. And then even you can take a heavy paint like this. It is heavy paint that you can take amount of that and then start coming a little bit higher in the sky to cover with a purpley tone. Please use lots of amount of paint to cover the white of the canvas. My wood is a creamy tone or browny tone, so I can add more to cover it. So even for the white canvas is the same. You can take a lot amount of paint like this with heavy texture and try to cover it with the brush stroke. So I'm going to start with this light pinky color. And I have a napkin, so clean the brush with that. And then start with pinky color. I would go mixing with the pinky color. I think my pink is very dark, very light if I compare with the purple. So again, back to red. And I would bring it here to make a little darker color for that. So you just mix the color, but anytime you feel that you need to change the value, change the color, feel free to do that. So on top, I would go with a little pinky color to mix it, even with the purple would be fine. And I'm not cover the whole line. I just come to the center and then switch to the left side, sorry, right side. Do the same. And I would mix with the purple. I don't want to have the hard edge in between. I would go to mix these two lines together, but still keep the purple, not melt it into pink. In some case, if you feel you need to add more darker color like a reddish or pinky, please do so. And then it's good to have different brushes in your hand because in some case, if you want to go with the yellow and orange, it's better to have another brush beside this pinky brush. So I'm going to choose another brush. This one is smaller. I would go with light orange, exactly on top, like this. All these colors, even the pink, purple, orange, if they mix together, give me a nice result. I'm not worried about that. But I would try go with heavy paint. Very gently, slowly try to let them mix into each other. Even at the same time, I can go with the pure yellow. And then I have two brushes in my hand. Try to let them blend in the edge. Still, I'm not adding sun in the sky. Still just try to make the warmness of the weather and of the sky, and I would bring that later. But if you see in the painting, it has a lots of texture, so you don't have to blend a lot. You can just go with the heavy texture in your painting. Heavy texture, I mean like this, heavy paint. Just try to sit on top of the canvas. And then you can feel even this heavy paint. But it takes time to dry, more than the regular time of the painting. Because if you blend it, it can easily dry. But if you go with heavy paint, it takes time. Even I have darker orange in my palette, which is the pure paint I have. I can add some to the side of the left and right side as well, like that. Just try to set some paint beside each other and that's it. The reason I prepare all this paint at the same time, because for the sky is so colorful, we need all of them to use it at the same time. So I pre-mix all and then try to use them on top of the surface. That makes me more relaxed to use at the same time all of them. So still I'm using the orange, this mixture of orange, which has more yellow in it, pure yellow, and the pure orange. Toward the center is lighter, but both sides of the sky a little darker orange, I mean, or even if you have red, try to use more red into your mixture and less yellow. But please mix them as much as you can. Try not to use hard edge in between, even if it's happened, same as here, which is normal. So I try to come again with the purple into orange and with the orange into purple to let them mix into each other. like that. Okay. So I start with the pure purple first and then move on with the pinky color, darker pink on both sides, a little lighter in the center, and then switch to the orange, and then yellowy orange to the center. Use little small brush stroke. That's easier to make it. And then I'm going to the center, use more heavy paint, and now I can just go with the pure yellow a little bit with the white for the sun. I would go with the white, a little yellow in it, just a circle or half a circle. Yellow is transparent. It's hard to let it sit on top of the canvas, but if you mix a teeny tiny white with it, you can make it more heavy. That's easier to sit on top of the canvas. Okay. And I try to make it like a cloudy shade on top of the sun. A little orangey on both sides. Close to the sun is more warm color we can use. Just if I bring it closer, you can see all this heavy texture. It's visible. I'm not blending them. I try to help this different value of the colors sit beside each other and make the painting more interesting. Okay, so please not make it really thick because still we need to add the purple and then blue in it. After this purpley tone, sorry, after this orangey tone, we need to bring the purple. Again, back to other brush, which has more pinky purpley color. And I'm going to start first with the pink and then switch to purple. The reason is because pink is more close to orange than purple. Now you can go with the line on top. Just on top of the sky, I got the pinky color. But I would go with purple up top again. Not really pinky because I would go with the purple. And then this purple can come a little bit with angle on the sky like that. From both sides or even like a cloudy shape like this. Then we cover the rest with just the blue color. The blue can come from top to bottom. And then you can mix it with this cloudy shape. In canvas is not like that. If you work on a wood, it can dry very fast. But for canvas, it takes more time even when you go with the really heavy paint. It's not the same with the wood. So even for the blue color, you can add less or more blue. Not to go with the pure one blue color. You can just go with shade of the blue, light and dark. And I go like a cloudy shape. You see, just curve, curve, curve. I'm not make it flat. Just like this angle. Circle motion. Give you a nice sky cloudy shape. And you can control your hand pressure if you use very heavy hand pressure. It can lift up the first paint, but very gently just try to touch the baby face. You can touch your painting. They can very easily melt into each other and not lift up the paint. So come closer to the purple to let it mix into each other. Even we can finish one time of the sky and you can let it dry. If you're not feeling happy with any part, again, you can come back and work on it. So it's not just one time. We try as much as we can to finish it in one apply, but sometimes it's not happen. So we can back again and work again on it. I would go with a little lighter color. Sometimes the paint is more heavy and make it really creamy. So if you feel unhappy with it, you can just add a drop of water in your mixture and let it move easier. Okay. So still I feel I need to add more purple in the sky because I covered lots of blue in it. So I'm coming back with the purple brush to add some purple cloudy very gently in my sky. Sometimes just one or two touch give it a beautiful movement of the cloud. And I would go with, because I don't want to separate warm and cool. The bluey tone is cool color. The reddish orangish color is warm color. So I don't want to let it separate between these two colors. So I go with a little lighter blue color in it to have some balance in my painting like that. I bring some bluey just movement here. Maybe a little darker blue is better, or even darker purple. Yeah, like this. And a little bit here too. So this is the sky, which is further off us. Oops. I come with the blue purple in my blue color. I play with the colors to make it more colorful and use more warm and cool color in my sky as much as I can. but still is heavy. If you see, it has a texture in it. So we have still the space here between, I would show you this space, I mean, because still we have some more space between the sky and these bushes on the stands. I would show that part, and then we are going to add the what we call the bushes and the trees on the stands. So that part is, if you're okay, we can move on to add a little blue mixed with white again. This is the blue, light blue color I would have. So I'm going to separate a little line like this. Doesn't need to be straight. It can be just movement like that. This is the space that I'm going to add the landscape here in front, and the rest is again not to sky. So again, I would cover it with the blue, light blue color like this. That's snow part in the stance, but the bushes come here on top. And then when I go a little further, I would make it darker as well, like the purple. Or even if it's challenging, you can just go with the blue color to cover it. And then on top, we are going to add the purple. Just cover it with one tone of the blue, light blue, I mean. You can mix your blue with white. It looks like the snow. So because of that, it's light. It's not dark. When you add just the blue, you cover it like this, very flat. And after that, I'm going to this darker purple. I would bring like this movement here. To the center and let it hide. And then from this side as well, come to the center. But to the center, we need the reflection of sun. So please mix the purple into the blue. And then we need to switch the other brush, which has a yellowy orangey color. And then I'm going to add yellow mixed with orange to make this warm color again for the reflection of the sun here. A little bit. I think maybe white we need to mix to make it lighter. Just one brush stroke, that's it. You can even let it melt into the blue, but make sure when the blue is wet, it can give you greeny tone. I forgot to mention that. Would dry fast. Because of that, right away I can add on top. But if you work on canvas, a little give it time and then bring the white yellow on top of it. We don't need to um, have a green on top of the blue like this. Just a reflection. So even when you feel that it's a lot blue in it, because acrylic when it get dry completely, it get darker always. So we can again back and make it lighter too. So I feel this part is really bluey. I'm not happy with it. So I would go a little bit white mix with it. Just a bit white go on top because this part of the painting supposed to be landscape on the stems. Because of that, it's not sky. It shouldn't be really blue. You can just go with a heavy and thick paint even with the white color on top. And then with the amount of water, you can let it melt and blend into the blue. Even for that part, which is more yellowy as well, you can just go with a little bit white and let it blend into the blue. So if you finish with this amount of paint that you pre-mix, you can again pre-mix them. I'm sure that white always finish faster than the rest of the paint, so we can add again. And yeah, if you finish this part, we need to move the pathway in the snow, separate that, and then add the snow for both sides of the landscape before adding the trees and the bushes. So if you're fine, we can start adding the pathway. So for the pathway, I choose some like a zigzag shape like this. So I'm going with the purple, which is darker tone or bluey color you can add with that. We need the darker tone because the snow is lighter. And I choose a little space in between here, a little lighter, like a Z shape like that. And then when I come closer to the bottom of the canvas, it's fine to be thicker. Still, this color is light, so I'm going a little darker. Then you can show some movement of darkness in it. That it's a snow, so it's a little bit can be darker, but it shows a little way in between the snow. But narrow on the stance, wider in front. So after you finish the pathway, we can just start to finish one side and then switch the other side. I would go a little darker and come lighter to close to the pathway. So I go with this bluey purple, which is a little darker. And I can go really heavier than the rest of the painting because it's a snow in front, so you can go heavier. Even you can use the purple pinky tone. So use the pink as well and let it melt to purple and blue even. And really thick paint because we would like to show the snow. And don't worry, we are going to add the trees on top so it can cover most of the part. I'm using a little blue even on top. At the same time, pink and purple. It's still dark, but when I'm close to the pathway, I just go with the pure white color. And even heavy paint, little pinky feeling. Make it more interesting. And if you pay attention, I'm not adding the water in my paint. I just have the brush with all this purple, blue, and pink at the same time. and really thick paint. I try to cover it with less pressure because if I add hand pressure, try to lift up. I don't want to lift up the paint. And closer, I'm going to add a little bit pinky color and very gently try to disappear to the side. If you go to nature, which is snowy, and the sunset happen, so purpley feeling of the landscape we can see, even the yellowy under the sunset we can see, and it's not just a pure white color. It covered with so many colors. And even you can make a texture with heavy paint like that. And for the other side, I just have paint the light blue in my brush, so I try to get rid of it and then do it here on top of the canvas. And then on top I can bring again the lighter tone. Pinky, the tone is more on the stance. So even you can use more pinky color when you're close to the middle of your canvas. The reason I premix all these colors at the beginning, it makes my painting easier because I have everything around myself. So I just can put the brush in it and then bring it to the canvas. Or even when it's dry, it's okay. I can again premix more. So I need some lighter blue here. I use all the colors. The feeling of purple, pink, and blue all at the same time. And you don't need to be worried about cleaning your brush because all these colors can be mixed together. And then after you finish the base, you can check you have pink a lot, or you have blue or purple a lot, or even you need more white color on top to bring. Now I have the base. I need to add white color more on it. So I go with more white, pure white color on top and heavier to show the snow on top. Something like that feeling. So you can continue, add white and even purple and even blue, any color until you feel happy with your landscape. And then you can let it dry because most of the time when it gets dry, the color change in acrylic. The color change to lighter or darker. Not lighter, most of the time it switch to darker tone. It's happen always. So then you can see you're happy with that darker tone or you would like to make it lighter again. So I just let it dry and then see what happened. And I'm going to use the tip of flat brush, this flat part of the brush. I go with darker tone. I know I had to add a little warmer color on top. It's okay to add to start the base and then gradually we can add more colors in it. So I choose here because I would go like this. Little bit from the side of the brush, you can go like that. It shouldn't be really long and visible because we would like to show they are on the stems. And then one here, one there. Just try to add some on top of this bushes of, on top of this pile of snow. Even you can add some pinky to that. And a little blue more. And become a little bit closer to us and lower like this. So all this trees show they are on the stands. Some of them need more darker color, some of them need more reddish color, not reddish, orangey, yellowy because of the reflection of the sun. So I try to clean the brush and add some orangey color now for those which is on this on center. A little bit orangey in between to show the reflection of the sun, which make them lighter. And it depends. Sometimes we overwork on it and make it very warm and light. Again, you can come back with purple and cover it. So painting is something like back and forth. You don't need to do it one time. You can just add some paint and then look at that. You can see, feel happy with it or not. Again, come back with other colors. It depends. Acrylic dry faster, so give you a chance to finish everything in shorter time, but oil is more longer time it need if you work with, or even watercolor is fast as well because dry faster. So depend on the material that you're going to work, but always you can back and forth and see you feel happy with or you would like to add more or less. Okay, I am happy with this part. Now I would go to add a little darker for these bushes. So for darker color, I would premix blue with a little black. Now black can come to make my color a little darker. And try to make it like a cone tree, palm tree, something like that. Bring it a little bit wide on top of the ground, like this. We will add the snow on top of it later. And even for this one, which is a little longer, just draw one line here as a tree trunk, a little bring it lower, which is like this. And try to shape the branches like that. Like a big triangle shape. And then we will try to wide on top of the ground. Doesn't show any tree trunk on top. It's hide under these branches. We can even finish this longer and bigger tree as well, and then add the snow on top of it. But it's the shape is look like those, like a big triangle shape. With the tip of your brush, you can just imagine your tree supposed to place here. Start one line from top to bottom. You can see where you would like to finish. I'm going like this. Just one line. And then the shape of these leaves on top is a little bit wider, and on the bottom is like this way. So a little bit brush stroke, try to add here. And then try to imagine, bring it a little lower. Empty space in between. And then let's try to cover more with paint when we are going lower. Now we are just going with the purple and black, but we're going to add the snow on top of it later. But I would try to shape it first and then add the snow on top. It's nice to be really thick and heavy with texture. If you can do and make a texture would be a nice idea. I would try to make it wide on top of the ground like a skirt. The shape of the trees is like that. Okay. That's the base of the trees, but we will cover it with snow. We'll add some even darker if we need. I'm happy with it so far. I'll leave it like this. Even the snow on top of it is not just a pure white color because it's a sunset. Even with the snow, we are showing with some blue and purple to make it darker. Mm. Even I use very heavy paint for the black, and I'm sure that it takes time to dry. But even when on top of the wet surface, if I would add the other colors, which is lighter, I can go heavy. If you go heavy, it's fine. It can cover it. And even it's okay if they mix together a little bit. So I go with the purple, mix with the white color, add a little blue in it. Because as I mentioned, we need some darker color for the shadow part, for the snow, even for the snow. Depend blue, purple, something like that. It's nice to make it for the snow. I'm going to start one side of this trees on the stems and add some line in it. That's it. Really teeny tiny. Those are on the stems. Doesn't need to be really heavy. Even for this one as well. And not cover all the black. I try to add some light on top. Even sometimes happen you cover the darkness. It's okay. You can bring them back again. Like here I add a lot, so I can bring with the black again back. I keep two brush in my hand, one for the shadow, lightness, and darkness. I mean, so, and after that, I would go with the larger trees now to add the snow on top. So randomly, I'm going to add some lighter on top, which is showing the snow, like that. And even I use dry brush strokes, so I don't use any water in it, and I keep the black color be visible still, like this. I use some lighter purple on top of some part of this black. And even I would go a little bit lighter with the white on this side, which is close to it's toward the sun. A little bit white, just because of the sun. Not much. Because if I use much light color of white, it shows that it's a sunset. It shows that it's like evening or the morning time. And we would like to show it's a nighttime and evening time. Uh, what we call it's a sunset. And I would go a little bit darker under the tree, a little bit if it's lighter, to show the shadow. Okay. I think I'm happy with the result. So you can just finish yours and then see if you're happy with, we can call it done. If it's not, we can again back and work on a part that we are not happy with. Okay. Just after I finish this, now I try to make this trees sit on top of the nature. I don't want to let them like illustration cut from this part. I would just the bottom part of the tree, let it a little bit melt into the background, into the landscape. So I try to add a little shadow under it, even for this as well. A little bit shadow. So gradually we try to build the snowy landscape. We start from everything we see on distance which is the sky. Little by little, try to make this colorful sky. And then the distance color, which is a snowy, icy, we try to build that. We make the pathway, adding the snow around it. And even if I bring it closer, you can see the heavy texture. We try to build it on top. And then after this colorful snowy landscape, we are going to add the trees on the stands is so shorter, lighter because showing depth. And then when we are going closer, we try to add it a little bit darker tone. And even this tall tree, which is more close to us, is darker, which more black. And try to shape it bigger and darker. And then we are going to add the snow on top of it. The snow on the trees on the stands is a little bit less, so it's darker, like a purpley bluey tone. And one side we are going to add. And for this one, which is closer to us, we try to show both sides as a snow, but the snow is not fresh and just a white color because we would like to show it sunset. And try to make the purpley tone, purpley bluey, to add this texture on top of the black color of the trees. So we are going to keep the black under it still. And then the side which is facing toward the sun, we are going to add a little bit white, some touch of the white. And that's it. Because when we go adding a lots of white color, it shows the daytime, not the nighttime. This close to the night time. And yeah, with the darker color, we try to let the trees attach to the nature, to the ground. And yeah, we are doing the best as we can, so we can call our painting done.